Okay, good morning, good evening, good afternoon for everyone. Welcome to this webinar. We will talk about reservoir simulation overview and what is simulation, what we need it for. So let me introduce myself. I am Brahim Mijani. I started to work in the oil and gas industry since 1990. So I worked in Algeria, then I moved abroad. I worked in ADCO, in Malaysia, Petronas, in PDO. So I have more than 28 years experience, mainly in doing reservoir monitoring and reservoir management with reservoir simulation. So, for understanding what is reservoir simulation? Reservoir is the construction and operational modeling of mathematical model which assumes the appearance of the actual reservoir behavior. It allows us to predict actual reservoir performance. This is a reservoir simulation. So there is a mathematical model. What is mathematical is like modeling by physically. So like in laboratory, we have sandbag, for example, or mathematical model, which is a simple set of equations which is subject to certain assumptions that describe the physical process occurring in the reservoir. So what is the reservoir simulator? It is a computer program which solves material balance, fluid flow, and phase behavior equation, which describes the reservoir production characteristics. So what is model, like simulation model? It is like a subdivision of the reservoir in some time, allowing variation in physical properties. So as grid blocks, we can see the flow between grid blocks, mainly in the center of the grid block, the connection from the center, the storage of the fluid within each grid blocks, and we can sign that some grid blocks contain wells. This is all what makes our reservoir. So the system of equation describes inter-block flow and storage. So the flow in the hydrocarbon is in the blocks, and then which is the storage. So at each time step in simulation, we calculate the production and the injection of each producing cell and revise the pressure and the saturation distribution while simulation is done. So why we simulate? So just quickly, it's like a rapid assessment of alternative reservoir development strategies in complex reservoir. So if we have a complex reservoir, it's not easy to develop. So we have to look to alternatives to develop this one by using simulation. And study of the complex fluid flow dynamics for which analytical alternatives not available. So if we don't have another alternative analytical solutions, we go to simulation, and which is numerical options, numerical solutions. So the purpose of reservoir simulation is evaluating the development options, production capacity forecast. We see our production and our capacity, determine ultimate recovery, how much we can produce at the end, evaluate secondary, tertiary recovery shell. I mean, if we have to do tertiary recovery, we have to look the options how we do. Economic optimization, how we optimize all this. The facility planning, how to plan our facilities. So depending on our stream, So we have to design our separators and all what is in the surface qualities, pipelines, and so on. And determine the fluid movement within the reservoir. So in general, we can have also single well model, sector model, full field model. We can do simulation. So the type of simulation, we have a single phase model, may be used for dry gas. We have black oil model, compositional model for gas. We have a thermal model, volatile oil model, and chemical models. We can find all of these models. So generally, we have black oil and compositional. So black oil is oil water, and for compositional mainly gas oil. So black oil, we have to consider only gas and black oil. We consider gas oil as the phase fluid, vapor and liquid. For the compositional, it is like the components. We have to consider all the components, and then also the water. So because compositional, all the components are depending on depth and pressure. That's why we have to consider all of this. But for the compositional, we consider like statics. We have to consider like phase, oil and gas only, and there is no big change in the pressure versus depth by component. So the requirement is like in mathematical point of view, a combination of equation study, mass balance equation, Darcy flow equation, fluid property relationship to density and pressure, and steady state well production and ejection. And this all this one is governed by some models like Stone 1, Stone 2, whatever. So it is like a diffusivity equation solutions for flow between blocks, grid blocks, which represents our models. So where do we use the simulation? Uses of reservoir. So I can say that the key role of the reservoir engineer is to assess the hydrocarbon volume initially in place, provide dynamic reservoir description, detail the movement of the fluid time, fluid with time, providing prediction of future wells and reservoir production performance. The reliability of this prediction will be limited both by quality and adequacy of the available reservoir geological and fluid data, and by the accuracy and representativeness of the reservoir model. This model representing its understanding of the physical process taking place in the reservoir. So we have to rely, our prediction will be more efficient when we have very good accuracy on our reservoir characterization and modeling. So simulation can be also used to identify data requirement to represent, validate, and continuous enhancement of the reservoir model, and to check the accuracy and completeness of the quantity of the available data. So if we should emphasize that this activity necessarily involves other petroleum engineers and all disciplines. So in this case, we have to say that we need, if we do simulation, if we want to do something else, we may see that nowadays we don't have enough data to do this. For example, the EOR, if the EOR, you want to do EOR, you need more data. So you have to ask for more data to complete and make your model more consistent. So prediction of reservoir and well performance of the alternative mode of production, water flood, gas injection, EOR, and so on. So we predict the reservoir performance. See the effect of injection and production rate on oil recovery because of some constraint that may have. We determine the determination of well location and number of wells to require to drill to optimize field recovery. They can determine the bypassed oil, which is the remaining oil after a period of time. Water and gas Conning calculation. So we may do this. Why do we need reservoir simulation? So once we establish good level of confidence in our reservoir description, we can use simulation with the goal of optimizing the field development operation strategies. We are often confronted to the following. So we have to answer some question. Most efficient well spacing. What is our well spacing? What is the optimum production strategies? What is the boundaries located? Where are they located? We have to. It is the intrinsic reservoir properties with the efficiency. The predominant recovery mechanism. What is the driving mechanism? And how should we employ in field drilling? When and how? So we have to simulate this. So a reservoir simulation study is the only practical laboratory in which we can design and conduct tests to adequately address the previous questions. As field development progressed, more information became available, enabling continually refine the reservoir model. So we need to update our reservoir model each time we have new data. If we drill new wells, so we have new logs, we produce new well, we have new production data. So we have to put this in our model. So we have to update this one each time we have data. In order then we can what are questions that the model can answer? How should the field be developed and produced in order to maximize the economic recovery? What is the best enhanced recovery scheme for the reservoir? When and how? And to implement it. Why the reservoir is not behaving according to our previous study, if they exist. So we cannot see why we have discrepancies from reality and our previous model. So we have to look at this and see what is the ultimate recovery, what is data required, what is the sensitivity of the model to various data, so sensitivities, what is the critical parameters that should be measured in the field in application of the recovery method. So what is the best completion scheme for the wells in the reservoir? From which region, from which sector the production is coming? Do we have Conning? So defining the objective of the study to be conducted and carefully stating the questions to be answered in an important step in conducting any simulation study. So we generally look at all these questions and we try to find the solution by doing this reservoir simulation. So once we have our reservoir simulation, we can refine it. So for better understanding and for better results, so we have to refine. So how can we refine our reservoir? If we have to solve a problem case, So we can, like this is one, our reservoir, we have this one, we have our wells in this. So what we can do, we can make LGR, local grid refinement. So we see these ones on. So we can make a local grid refinement in this area. Or we can make fining. Fining is just, we try to reduce the number of cells in X and Y direction. So finding preferred is there if there is sufficient computer capacity speed, because once we do this refinement, number of cells increase. So we need more capacity and speed of the reservoir to run the model. LGR could also cause convergence. We have sometimes problem of convergence with the LGR. The long term of the, when we have the long, big model and we have long time of simulation, we may have it. So particularly significant two-phase mass balance near the wells. So this is what we can do for refining. So by having some data, all the data we need from seismic to well test, we can manage our reservoir. So maximize the recovery, predict the reservoir, make our business plan, reduce uncertainty, adjust facilities. So this is one, but we have to have good data and quality checked data to do this, to achieve good results. So answering the previous question to better know, characterize the reservoir for the better understanding and efficient use of the various, reduce uncertainties, safe depletion of the reservoir by reservoir monitoring and the surveillance, apply different technology stimulation, improve recovery and forecast. So if we have a study, we have to plan how to do this study. The study, you can plan for it. So many steps. We have to define study before. We have to choose the simulation model. We have to make collection data, validation and interpretation. We have to construct the model and then validation of the model and its calibration. So definition. The bit of history matching, study definition. Before work commences, in particular simulation study, the objective of the study together with the scope of the project should be carefully identified. So a project description should be drawn up involving the following: a clear statement of the main objective of the study and with possible secondary objectives. So we have to stick to the main objective of the study, how to conduct. The extent of any basic data analysis required before simulation work can be started. So if we need more data, we have to ask for this data and for this analysis before we start. The required conceptual work, we may do the sensitivity study and by using a simplified model and make the analysis before we do full field study. So the need for history matching of past performance required quality match. So if we want to get good performance forecast, we have to have a good quality for the history match. If applicable, the description of development sham to be evaluated with the development strategies like that. Deliverable of the study, forecast and reporting. We also have to know the cost and timing of the study. The model, how to choose the model can be chosen based on the data characteristic, on the reservoir, and motorized, and the different mechanism. What we have for this. The type of simulation required addresses the task should then be assessed. Choose should be between sample model, tank model, and so on. So we have to decide which model we can use. Scope of simplification simulation without loss of essential details should be also assessed. Ideally, at this phase of the study, technical to be used vertical. Validate simulation model and the history matching. At first, scan through the available data, then be made to enable a reliable time and cost estimate to be made. It is at this stage that large saving can be made in the cost and duration of the study by proper assessment of the scope of the project and the good planning of this study. So we have to get data, assess the data, and the discrepancy should be identified. The data should be consistent with objective of the study. So there will be some data validation and stage like PVT, SCAR, relative permeability. So I think the time is going faster. I will go a little bit faster to show you more. So what we need to make a model, so we need geological, so seismic frame with structure for geological properties, geological maps, all the maps we need. And then the PVT and the data. So nowadays, if we have static model, which is run by another software, we don't need to the maps to digitalize to make this model. So we have all included in the static model, what is like what is done nowadays in any software of any companies. So we have PVT data, relative permeability, and the data which is related to the production data, injection data, pressure, and performance. So how to construct the model? The quantitative study has been assembled. We assemble what we have. Sample simulation model, we can continue to do the study. Sample tank, for example, or box. A result of the model will provide framework for the complexity details. When the study objective can be met, the sample model then with sensitivity or screening study is being performed. Geological data can often be represented by sample averaging of some porosities. So we have to make like a model fit for purpose in case of we don't have too much data. For complex displacement should be established. For make EUR, we should have a good model, complex displacement. So this is we have to generally construct static and dynamic model in 3D with softwares available on the market. A tank model, which is material balance model, is also made at first stage of the field to get something fit for purpose at the first start. For example, to get what is the fluid in place. So we have to make validation of our model, calibration. So we have to do history matching. So history matching of all this data. So model calibration, optimum, including including the economics. We have to put the required prediction and design it or various of the prediction scenarios. So, like a process, it will be starting from here, structure frame, phases modeling, petrophysical modeling, simulation grid upscaling, ranking the model, and the well design. This is generally the process of doing, like starting from scratch, static model, and then by the end give it to reservoir engineer, simulation engineer to do the. So this is the methodology for like how to go. We have sequential structure from the flow units, identification, seismic impedance. So we from here we go to the facies association. So we get to corroborability, permeability, saturation, and then we go to reserve and flow simulator. So a complex well modeling. So we have like this one. We have intersect management, surface network simulator. We have eclipse simulator. We have intersect. So we can say that the complex reservoir, huge million of cells, fractured, naturally fractured, high number of wells. This is the complex reservoir. The intersect can be used for complex reservoir instead of eclipse. Eclipse is also used, but for more accuracy of this complexity, we can use intersect, which is more powerful. So we can also make coupling between coupling reservoir to surface can be done. We use it. And we have also the front seam, which is in the eclipse, which is used for the water flooding to identify the streams between the. So in general, we have here the phases and what we can do for each phase. So the reservoir characterization, selecting development strategy, and when we go from one to other. So here, just summary of the global. So we need all the data all around here. Then we construct the geological model, then the simulation model. So we use all the data available around. So and then the decision. So we can we have all this one geological model. We can upscale it, and then we have data. We screen data, validate data, make a model, initialization, history matching. If the history matching is good, we can go to prediction. If not good, we go back again and make more accuracy. So just here from initial to the end of the history match, for example, here we have the saturation. Here we have initially no wells. And then the saturation is like this one. And here the pressure at initial. After history match of 5 years, we have these producing wells. And then you have the change in the saturation here. Okay, and here the change in pressure. So this is the maximum, and this is the minimum. So in general, what we need for dynamic simulation is the geological model upscaled, the field production injection data, PVT, scal, aquifer, separation condition. Then we may need for prediction generation of vertical flow performance, then set the constraint, surface constraint, well constraint to do a forecast. So we can see this by details for rock data, or this one. For the fluid data, we need PVT sampling, and then generate the equation of state if we're using simulation. The scale data, we have to read the relative permeabilities and capillary pressure. So we have to go to good reservoir quality. to have good expected good recovery. For tight reservoirs, we make an possible technique to increase the recovery with the stimulation sensitivities. Gas reservoir, we have to simulate long-term gas cell, for example, as objective. So on design and management routine, so we can get this all this data. And we have all the events should be put. All the events happening in the life of the reservoir should be included in the model with dates. So we know what happened in chronological time on our reservoir. So and then we have to put it in the static model, in the dynamic model. So for the wells, drilling, cementing, and so on, commissioning and start of flow and produce, and all the measurement that we have from the well. After production, we use, initially, we have the measurement of the pressure build up for the follow-ups, for the PLTs. So we have to, well, behavior, we may have different type of wells, good, fair, high GOR, sand production, different things. So initially, how is the decline? Decline the pressure and so on. We have to investigate why the wells are shutting and different options. So geologically, we have the start from seismic here, geological, petrophysical, and PVT scan. We have in the reservoir permeability contact. For the wells, we have the details for the well completion, the rates, and all the measurement done for the well. So production data, usually we get it from the reports. Eclipse keyword, for example, here for the injection and production. So I just put here for the history matching. We have is WellCon his WellCon NGH. So this is the way what we use for our injection and production in case of history matching. For the keyword in the predictions, we have to use this one, WellCon Prod and WellCon EG. We will talk about this one in the course. So the performance of the wells, so we have to see the thickness, completion, non-Darcy flow, and so on. So the formation, KH distribution, layers, and so on. So the strategy, we seek to find out in history matching in history matching, we try to find to seek and find that our reservoir observed data should be equal to reservoir simulation data. So gathering all the wells by field, by quality check monthly data, and put it in the good format, and assume a percentage of error between the simulated and observation data to make a decision that we have this. And then run the history matching and make prediction later on. So the main objective is to get a good history match. Observed data equal to simulated data. So not the first output, we observe the errors. What is the difference? We adjust to make observed to simulated data. We make changes, we match the pressure, then the other parameters, and then. So we have the first thing we have see is that we go to see how about the volumes. Our geological model, what gives, and our simulator, what it gives. We have to reconcile between the two. So like in simulation, we have three things. We have initialization, we have the full in place volumes and distribution of the parameters. The history match, we have to get a good history match if possible, compared to observed data. Prediction performance, so we have to, this one, calculated, to be calculated for the future. Just example here, we have actual model and observed data. Observed data discontinues just the points, and then the model is giving this one. So here we are not matching. Here we have good match. Here we have to, and here the pressure is declining. So just to know that at the first run we cannot get all match. So we have to make some changes to get this match and go further. So how it works, like it is like stream. We primary production injection, we calculate the pressure, cell production, then the cell pressure, then there is adjustment between the model and data. So we have to find out this and get a solution to match the observed data based on our knowledge and our data and our reservoir. So the criteria of match, we match the rates, the different ratios, GOR, water count, the bottom hole pressure, tipping head pressure. We may match our RFT, DST, PLT, and so on. So all this data should be quality checked before entering the model. For example, here, if we see this practical adjustment, so if we have the simulation here, the history here, so we have to think about this one. Our field, so our simulation is higher than our history. So we may think about the pore volume, the aquifer volume, the permeability, and then we have to try to match this. So in general, we have too much uncertainty, high uncertainties and low uncertainty. We may have the volumes. So mainly when we don't have too much wells in our reservoir, so we don't have too much control points. So the pore volume here, the permeability, the KV/H ratio, the relative permeability, the aquifer, volume, faults, and so on. So the low uncertainties, we have just fluids, compressibility, all these are not low uncertainties in terms of history matching. In terms of history matching, this is the data that not affected too much. This is low uncertainty. So we generally in history matching match the pressure, then we go to other parameters. Forecasting, we have to plan the runs, prepare the input data, make smooth transition from history to predictions, find necessary keywords that be used in the data file. So as an option here, we can, this is an example. We have 4 options. So which one we can go? We have to simulate, and then we can see our cumulative prediction versus time. So we can see here that option 3 is the best one. So we have more oil prediction. So we can, if this option is economical, we can go for it, because at the end of the day, we have to do our economics and decide. We have to know. So prediction runs, we have to make ensure a smooth transition between prediction and history. We have to set the constraint. Then we have to generate. We have to know simulation condition and liquidity tables and so on. We can set expect facility uptime, monthly prediction, and then run our model prediction. So this is the time of simulation. So we generally do upscaling from the static model fine grid to the coarse grid. So if the total sales is 2 million, it will be 0.3 million. So, and then we have to go to the, to make difference between fine grid, coarse grid, and our simulation to compare the result. So that should be in agreement. So here, this is what we see in our completion. We have the completion. We have our log here in the log in black, and our properties, which is porosity and permeability. This is what we modeled in our model. So if we want to drill wells, so we have to make cross section and see what we do. Vertical wells, horizontal wells, slanted wells. For these units, for example, we go here or here or here. So we have to simulate this one for this well also, and then we can make our well placement in the reservoir. So from here, we have to profile of 2 cases, for example, and we have to compare which one has high. So this one also, this is initial condition as an EOR project. So this is one you see here, the oil saturation initial. After oil saturation before WAG is like this, and when we did the WAG, it is like this. So there is a change in when we simulate this one, and we can see here the incremental gain from the WAG. So from the course, what we can get, if we attend the course, we can get knowledge on the simulation, get data and use it correctly, build dynamic model, construct the point data file for all sections we have in the Eclipse, run the model, analyze the graphs, the maps, get more tricks on how to do history matching, make development strategies, construct, set constraint and run the predictions, make sensitivities, see the impact, and make your own judgment. So during the reservoir course, you will use the software to run several cases with data provided, and the software also is provided. So mainly it is 10 hours course practice where you spend running different cases, different sensitivity on some parameters, and then you have to create at the end a model, your own model, and I will help you to do so. So with the practice, you will not lose your knowledge. So when you practice, you will get it. So thank you very much for this, your attention. And now we can have some questions, if you like.